Hello, Leo, and welcome to your October monthly reading. So, guys, if you're first time here or you forget, make sure that you also check your ascendant and check your moon sign in addition to your sun sign, because that way you're going to get a little bit more information about you. This is a general reading, so you cannot expect that everything is just catered to you, even though I know you're royalty and of course you do expect that. But like for that you need to contact me for a private reading at cattarot.ca. There it is, Mr. Mercury retrograde. Yes, it's the last Mercury retrograde this month. It's October 13th to November the 3rd, and guess what? Part of it from the 22nd to the 3rd is going to be in Scorpio, and that's something that you're putting like two angry animals in the cage, and it's not the kind of doing great. So it's going to be paranoia, it's going to be obsession. It can be very sexy. It could be like, oh, I have to live dangerously, right? And some people might be triggering you and saying like, well, you're just like, so stiff, you're so square, you're not doing this. So that's kind of like the mentality you're getting here in this Page of Swords. Okay, let's see what else. I need to keep it under this kind of like 10 minutes threshold, and I never managed to get a higher kind of like rating as a result. So there is like a King of Wands. This is you, and this was like a theme in October's reading that people's cards came through, and many people kind of like when they see the card, as sometimes they call it in their own house, just kind of like ignore it. It means nothing. For me, it's the opposite. It's almost like, hey, you know what? Like this means much more. Like your spirit guide is here. You are basically being told the messages that are here. You're putting you're in a process of something, and something that is maybe boring, something that is maybe meticulous. It could be even work. Kind of like he is the highest expression of the suit of wands. Look at how comfortable he is, right? So there is sitting on his lion throne, and he really knows that he kind of earned it, he deserved it. So it's not kind of like not showing off or anything, but this is also talking about activity, and that activity is also going to be related to the full moon in Aries. This is occurring on the 1st. This month we have two full moons this month, because full moon occurs every 29.5 days. So the first one is October 1st, and second one, and that one is in Aries. So this kind of like talks about putting things in control. You're controlling things, you want to get a reign of the things. So this is like the high expression of your own suit. So you're going to feel, hey, this is a shoe that fits. You're going to be doing things that you really like, so that's a really, really good news. But then we have like a full moon in Taurus, which is on the 31st, Halloween, and that one is like kind of pamper yourself. So it's kind of like very, very appealing. So this one kind of like sounds really good in this kind of like bookends, but the middle of the month is going to be really, really, really intense, right? Especially when it turns to Scorpio. Whoa, you guys, you're projected for your romance this month. Either something is going to firm up, where you're going to feel, hey, this is going somewhere, something is happening, or there's going to be somebody who is going to feel like there is like some kind of like soulmate kind of like thingy going on here. Interestingly, this is crossed with Ace of Wands, but is reversed. Ace of Wands talks about something from the past, and almost like that you're cutting off the past. Maybe you're cutting somebody off. Maybe you're kind of like living past in the past and able to move forward, kind of like closing not the chapter but the book, and burning the book, putting on the shelf, I'm done with it kind of a thing. I absolutely love this Ace of Wands. Look at this. What a better picture that something old is actually producing something new that is giving completely new life. But this is reversed. You maybe don't want something to grow. Maybe like there is like some kind of reassessment. And also this is the full moon that is coming through over here. It's and there is this crossover here, so you might find somebody in a church, in some kind of like religious proceeding. I know Canada has Thanksgiving this month. Americans, I think, I have it in November. So I like picking up on something like that. And it could be like that you are even hesitant to attend such event because you're going to say, bleh, kind of like, I just like don't think this is kind of like my thing. You'll be really pleasantly surprised. And it's kind of like really rotating October 1st, so like plus minus, like 3 days around full moons. So it takes about 14 days, right, to get to the new moon. So new moon is October 16th. Actually, it's in Libra, and this is like really about romance. So from that time on, you'll be actually really, if you start attracting somebody at that time, it's going to be more or less about political ideas, and going to have like really passionate discussion about things that really matter to you because of that Libra influence, right? Well, you also have a King of Pentacles. You guys are almost looks like you're dating, and they're like options, and they're really, really good options. Like, this dude is like, let's do stuff, let's travel. You kind of like, it's fall here in North America. How about like we just go on a trip and take a picnic basket? We just go in unknown place, because now we are all in bubbles, and it's really tough to date during pandemic, right? But like, let's say you pass this threshold that you can be with somebody in a car, right? Like, this person is like action oriented, or let's go and play mini golf kind of a thing, right? This dude is, let's go and have a dinner in a really fancy restaurant, and that guy is like somebody maybe who has a cufflinks, or if this is a woman, because it's general reading, somebody who is well put together, very pretty, but maybe also kind of like overly made up. But in any case, both of them are going to be very, very appealing to you. They're very, very different. They're both kings. They're both reigning in their own domain. Like, there are two different kingdoms that we are talking about. They're very, very different. So it really depends on your personality. Do you really want the action oriented, or something very calm? This person wants family, this person wants children, but this person wants good wine and good cakes, and enjoys cooking, and enjoys kind of like jewelry, perfumes, that kind of stuff. It's not that this guy doesn't enjoy it, yeah, but like, this is not the forefront of that kind of like interaction. It's more or less this person is kind of like bonding through experiences, versus this person is bonding through food and material possessions. And then we have a Queen of Pentacles. I don't know. This could mean there was like a coupling in the past, or it could be this person is freshly divorced, or that somebody was like leaning on them, and finally it was a cut, and maybe this is why this one, this Ace of Wands is really showing up, because it's kind of like finally separating them. This could simply mean that maybe somebody, in spite of like separation from a girlfriend, wife, whatever, still supported them, still felt obligation, that kind of like they have to do it, and until recently, and now they're ready to move forward. Now they're ready, and they're willing to find a new partner over there, because this is clearly not you. And this about you is Temperance, and Temperance is really showing up a lot. And I even went and I read up on Temperance, and I was thinking like, why is it coming through? And then it hit me like, oh my god, this is going to freaking impossible month, right? With this kind of like influence with, so just think about, you put the lion, and what else can I put here, like, which animal doesn't get along with lion? Let's say tiger and lion in the cage, and you don't feed them, and then eventually right, kind of like happens. So Temperance is like the one who's going to take this kind of fire, and it's going to take water, and it's going to kind of like go from one cup to another, and it's going to create a completely new substance. So kind of like somebody's going to tell you this person is not for you, right? This King of Pentacles is not necessarily shoe that fits ideally, this one is, but you really want to date yourself also, right? So like, I mean, this is kind of like the question. And Temperance is saying it doesn't matter, I can make both of them work, it's going to work fantastically, right? And you're saying like, I mean, okay, I mean, Temperance, this winged angel that kind of like appears in front of the Fool in its journey in tarot, is like, hey, you know, you're merging all of it, fire and water, right? Like, I mean, oil and water, like all of these things that cannot merge, right? And you're saying, like, the Fool is saying, well, can I do it? He said, yeah, you can do it within yourself. Like, this is like basically the lesson you need to learn. But in order to do that, you really need to be patient. It takes time to do it, and takes kind of like moderate temper in order to move forward, right? And so basically, Temperance is like represented, and I was just like telling this whole to Cancer because they also had it, is represented with Sagittarius. And you would think like, is this a patient really angel, really the best representation of Sagittarius? And that's always kind of like surprising. But like, if you really think through that there is like this merging of the opposites, so Sagittarius is really shown with this Centaur, like half man, half horse. So there is like this merge that we see, like there is like something completely new created, and something that really, really works, and it's really, really powerful. So for you coming through over here, and in this particular deck, we see some kind of like release. So is this you who is the fish, or is it you who is the cat? Do you finally feel that you're free? This rainbow is basically telling you, like, I mean, make a wish kind of a thing, right? And there's like a reflection of it in the water, right? So it's kind of like maybe something that you need to let go of. Maybe you have some chip on your shoulder, sorry to say, and you need to kind of let go of that. Maybe like this is like something that kind of like you're feeling that you're holding on. As you're holding on, you cannot kind of like go and slide down the hill and go in the hands of another woman, another man. There's something to think about it. It might make you feel a little bit exhausted. All this self-care that's going to be kind of like happening during the Mercury retrograde, and like all of a sudden looks like it's lots of activities happening, and like, I mean, it was lots of hesitation, lots of maybe itchy attitudes, kind of like, and now it's becoming really, really intense. We are moving this month on October 22nd from Libra to Scorpio, and then all of a sudden the flavor is going to be way different. The intensity will crack up to 11, and so it's going to be, oh my god, close the windows, close the drapes, bunker up, because it's going to be very, very intense. So there's this lion and a tiger in the cage, and it's going to be obsession, it's going to be paranoia, it's going to be attacks, it's going to be everything coming from everywhere, right? But it's going to be also temptations with excess, which can bring lots of passions around. So let me see what's happening with this. So I don't know, for you, death shows through. If you this is weird. It's either that you have a possible Scorpio that you are dealing with or dealt with, or you need to put an end to it, because this is that renewal card. Something needs to be done, and this is pretty much what I said here. It looks like this could be even you, that you have been coupled with somebody, and now, and this usually indicates a married couple, or like it was very, very solid, kind of like mingling, and now it is time to move on. And that's what this card says. It's clearly showing that kind of determination. It's also number 4 flavor, which again kind of like connects with determination about, hey, this month is going to be different. I'm dedicating to myself, especially if you are seeking and looking for somebody new. This is the environment, and it's King of Swords, and maybe you're feeling that you're receiving some verdict from somebody that is harsh, or that somebody is using the words that they shouldn't. Like, I mean, keep in mind, Mercury retrograde can invite lots of stalkers and people not having good boundaries, people inquiring, about your life and asking too many private questions and personal questions. Even worse, telling you how you should be living your life. So you need to prepare yourself, and maybe that's kind of like attitude and onset of energy coming through to you that you will need to block and need to know how to deal with this, right? side. Maybe you're one of these people who's just trying to kind of like roll with kind of like the events. But I mean, when this person shows up, it looks like you really need to deal with that head on and put it to rest and kind of look at maybe this is like what makes you freaking tired and say, look, oh my gosh. So it almost looks like you're maybe dating, and in this process of dating, there are like lots of suitors. Maybe it could be 3 or 4 or even 5 over here. Not everybody is going to be all-meaning. Somebody is going to try to be very controlling. Somebody will be telling you, almost like putting you down. Some people need to put other people down in order to put themselves up. Just think through about that. They need to put somebody down for them to be up. So why can't they be where they are and accept you where they are? The reason for that is like they already feel really bad about themselves and they feel they're on the bottom, so hence they need to suppress other people about them. Just run. That could be like a black hole, just like kind of like swallows you, and kind of like that doesn't end well. But some of you will be tempted. Some of you will have sexy times, and that's going to be like, I mean, sexy Scorpio and romantic Libra. Be very careful from the 16th to the end of the month. This can talk about the codependency. This can talk about relationship with the exes. This can talk about wild sex. This can talk about one night stands. This can talk about your partner is now bringing somebody else, or you're finding about somebody else, you're noticing something is being off. This can talk about back to that paranoia. Like, this is literally the card that kind of like you're getting out of your element, somebody else is pulling the strings. This is falling in your hopes and fears. So your hopes are that you're resolving any codependency in you, that you're resolving any of this crap, that you're leaving this in the past. Maybe you had a rival over here, and like, I mean, this is now somebody's pushing the buttons in you, and probably could be this person, and that's that intensity that I'm really talking about. So it's a very tricky month. I don't want to tell you just lock up and just like sleep through the month, because this intensity would want to make us. It's going to be lots of anger, it's going to be lots of debates, it's going to be like going down the rabbit hole, but also it's going to be tons of romance. So for those who are willing to take their chance and play the game and be willing to lose but also be willing to win, those who win will win really, really big. And I really mean it. Like, this combination of the tiger and lion in the cage can create the biggest freaking fight and the bloodshed, but it can forge a completely new love affair, and something that can last a lifetime. And you're heading, ta-da, exactly to that. So you see, it's like ad astra per astra. I think it's Latin proverb, and you might correct me, please, if I didn't do it well. It really talks from the thorns to the stars. So you really need to walk the thorns to get to the stars. This means you're meeting somebody who is good on the paper, who is good with your family, who is right where you want, the same religious nomination as you are. Like, they enjoy everything that you do. They're like supporting you. So Ten of Pentacles is not this much kind of like romantic thing that you want somebody to lift you up with a bouquet of roses and you're like running toward the sunset. No, this is like somebody's coming and you're feeling they're connecting with who you are. It's a very pragmatic kind of dose. So it's again going back to this dude who can be very much an earth sign. In particular, he could be Capricorn. You also have, as I said, Sagittarius and Scorpio, as well as fire signs, kind of like displayed here. But you also have a possible air sign that can kind of like create some kind of like thunder and some kind of disturbance. So I'm well over my 10-minute limit, but I'm glad that I could tell you everything that I have to. So guys, don't forget to check your ascendant and check your moon sign. Also on Instagram, I have daily tarot cards. It's just like, card of a day, so you can know what is the flavor, how to prepare yourself. So both Instagram, I guess, Facebook and Twitter is at Cat Tarot. And if you want a reading with me, visit me at cattarot.ca. So this is it for now. It's going to be an intense month. Buckle up, and I'm pretty sure you're going to engage. So let's see how the game continues. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon.